Hello and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. This time it is going to be yet another quick-fire lore video, and today we are going to be covering Scholozar Basin and Un'Goro Crater, specifically the Titan link between the two of them. So you've probably noticed that these are both really strange places when you think about it. They're both dense jungles, but they're surrounded by completely different biomes. Scholozar Basin is, for example, surrounded by bitterly cold tundras, while Un'Goro Crater is surrounded by deserts. It just doesn't really make much sense, does it? Another interesting fact is that both of them are near massive Titan structures, with Scholozar Basin being beside Ulduar, and then Un'Goro Crater being beside the fallen Titan station of Ankiraj, and then all of the various installations inside Uldum. Furthermore, both places are actually highly defended, hence them having survived many events nearly unscathed. Really, it is all rather strange, and as odd as these places do seem, they actually have a place in the world. Millennia ago, an ancient and powerful spacefaring race called the Titans came upon Azeroth. They were massive beings whose intent was to order the universe, create life, and combat chaos wherever it could be found. When the Titans came upon Azeroth, they decided that it was a very good candidate for ordering, which is really just the name for the overall process of making a planet and setting it up. And they began the ordering of Azeroth by creating the Emerald Dream. The Emerald Dream was essentially just the template for Azeroth. It is how Azeroth would be without any intelligent races shaping the planet's surface. Basically, it's the blueprint for the planet's surface. After this, they began creating life on the planet, and both Scholozar Basin and Un'Goro Crater served as testbeds. According to the avatar of Freya, the Titans did not create life overnight. The process was gradual and required a great deal of experimentation and iteration. It is for this reason that the highly protected places such as Scholozar Basin exist. To ensure the safety of their experimentation sites, the Titans created a defense mechanism. Its destructive force is unparalleled, and I will reveal no more unless you swear your fealty to my cause. And that is what the avatar of Freya had to say. Of course, we do end up swearing our fealty to her cause, and I will tell you what happens about that later on. Anyway, so over many thousands of years, the Titans experimented with various forms of life. But the first thing they made was the various seed races, such as the Vrykul, Earthen, and Mogu. These were not fleshy creatures, they were made out of, let's just say stone, iron, that kind of thing. And these were basically the workforce of the Titans. Now, what we do know is that fleshy creatures were still a part of the Titans' overarching plan, because, after all, that is what they created in Scholozar Basin. This, of course, does mean, though, that the idea of the curse of flesh, and this just whole idea of flesh itself, was a Titan one. Therefore, when the old gods inflicted the curse of flesh upon the seed races, what they had really done was just essentially stolen a Titan idea. They must have seen these creatures like devil swords, etc., and noticed that their minds were weak and more susceptible to suggestion, and therefore they wanted to corrupt the more pure Titan construct races like the Vrykul, Earthen, etc., so they inflicted flesh upon them and made them weak. That is certainly what makes the most sense to me. Anyway, so what we do know about both zones is they have watch posts inside them, and on these posts the Titans could wait and observe their creations. The two places are also linked through a waygate, and they both have crystalline pylons which power the local defenses. Another thing is that they share a single, very powerful defensive construct called the Etmidian. This is actually the destructive force that the avatar of Freya, who I quoted from earlier, was talking about. We actually use this force in Wrath of the Lich King to take the Scourge out, essentially. What had happened is that the Scourge used explosives to destroy some of the wards surrounding Scholozar Basin, and therefore they were able to breach the Titans' defenses. That meant that us players, we needed to go, talk to the avatar of Freya, do a few things like that, and then use the Etmidian to force the Scourge out finally. Getting the Etmidian actually involved a trip through the waygate that the Titans made all the way over to Un'Goro Crater, and this is probably the most bespoke link between those two places that we have been shown in-game. So, since Scholozar Basin is actually the most recent zone like this, there isn't really a great deal else to say. Basically, the bottom line is that these places are testbeds which the Titans use to iteratively create life on the planet. And then when the Titans left Azeroth, their defenses remained, and therefore the zones have been relatively safe till this day. I'll be very interested to see if we ever do see any other zones like this, however I doubt it. I think that really Scholozar and Un'Goro are going to be the only two. Still though, it would be great to see some more Titan lore in the game, and perhaps when we meet the Titans, which I think we eventually will, we will find out some interesting stuff about the ordering of our planet and how Scholozar Basin and Un'Goro Crater were really used by the guys. Anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you liked the video, because it really does help me out, and I will see you next time.